How do I create boards on Pinterest strategically, and how do they fit into my overall marketing strategy? Really great question brought by an audience member right here on my YouTube channel. And I wanted to cover this kind of in depth today. Now, Mara only asked for board basics, but we are gonna go a little bit deeper and go into a more strategic way of creating boards. So not just board basics, although we will cover board basics as well. So a couple of the things that you're gonna learn in today's video is how to name your boards, optimize them, how to create board covers, all of that. Hi, I'm Heather Farris. I run this Pinterest marketing channel as well as a Pinterest agency where I help clients and students in the membership as well to get results on Pinterest. So today we are talking about board strategy. One of the questions that Mara asked was, if you have a client that has a specific product, how do you create boards to support that product? Really great question, and I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy with this answer. The number one way that I like to create boards on my client's profile or teach my students how to do it is by thinking of the ways that people are gonna find you on Pinterest. Now, there's two main ways people are searching on Pinterest. They are searching for things in the how-to or educational side, and they are also searching for things on the product side, something to fix their issue right now, whatever it is. Now, those are known as the awareness phase of a customer journey and the buyer intent phase of the customer journey. There's two very different ends of the spectrum. So when I'm creating Pinterest boards, I'm thinking of the different ways that someone is going to find me on the platform. Now, I have a really great live example for you today. Get the laptop out and actually show you what this looks like. My client Carly, her and I have been working together in a Pinterest audit, and I did a Pinterest keyword research kind of session for her. And through this, we have found a couple of really solid keywords for her brand. Now, a little background on Carly. She sells organic baby clothing, and she needed to figure out a way to not just promote her products on the platform, but also a way to capture those people who are looking in the awareness phase and bring them into her products. So one of the ways that we did this, if you take a look at her profile, is creating a board along one specific topic. Now, one of the products she sells is swaddles. So I noticed when I was doing keyword research for her that swaddling tips on Pinterest was a very educational type content, and there's a lot of people searching for it, like 5 million plus monthly searches a month. So we created a board called Newborn Swaddle Tips, and you can see that here. Newborn Swaddle Tips, and then there's a description in there as well. And we pinned a couple of pins to that board that are related to newborn swaddle tips. Now, the second way that people are searching for swaddle things on Pinterest is for actual swaddles. So we actually created a second board under the same topic for the best swaddle blankets, and you can see that board here. Now, for this board specifically, it is product focused, whereas Newborn Swaddle Tips is awareness focused. So we are capturing people in two very different phases of their journey, but nonetheless, we are serving them with our content on this platform. And then we are making them aware of our products, and therefore, hopefully they will follow us on Pinterest, click to the profile, or click to our shop and shop there. That is the first way that I like to create boards to support a client's product or content strategy on the platform. If you're a content creator and you're looking for a similar way to do this, then what you're gonna think about is the types of content you create, and then the types of products or services that you also provide. And you're gonna use the same philosophy. So for my brand, I have Pinterest marketing strategies, and that is the awareness phase. And I also pin my product focused content to those boards as well. So we are gonna rapid fire through some of the questions that Mara asked in the comment on YouTube. And the first one is, how do you name your Pinterest boards? You name your Pinterest boards with a keyword phrase that you want to be found for. So a lot of people go way off the rails here and do this totally wrong. And that's where I want to save you a ton of time. You want to use search terms that you know your audience is searching for, and you're going to validate those in the search bar. If you want to learn how to find keywords on Pinterest, you're going to want to watch this video right here to learn how to do that. But in this video, we're going to assume you already have your keywords that you know you want to rank for, and that is what you're going to use for your title. So in Carly's example for best swaddle blankets, we used that search phrase because that is what we identified parents were looking for on Pinterest. So you don't want to get too broad like swaddles, but you also don't want to get cutesy and put a bunch of emojis or symbols in that title either, because that will also hinder how people are going to find you. How do I organize my boards? Now, this is something that a lot of people think that they need to do if they pin, like, for example, if Carly were to create a board on her profile called like newborn baby fashion, she could pin all of her pins that are product related in her business to that board, and she's got like between 5 to 10 different products on her store. Now that would be really relevant because all of her products are related to baby clothing, and it could get a bit messy, right? Because that seems more like a broad topic board and it could get messy. Now, one of the ways that you can organize your boards is by adding sections with a word of caution. If you add sections into your boards and you think that that section could be a standalone board, you want to make sure that you create a standalone board for that. Now, you could have a section inside your big board and a standalone board as well. You don't have to go for one or the other, but I would always opt for a standalone board over a section any day. Really quick pause. If you're enjoying this video and you've gotten any value from it, would you do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button? It helps me out and it's free for you. Into the next question. How do I optimize my boards? This is something I could literally geek out on for hours. So there's a couple of different things you want to cover when you are optimizing your boards, and you want to make sure you do them all. Your board title, which we just covered, is the first place you're going to optimize when you are talking about board optimization. The second place is your board descriptions. So let me show you what this looks like again. So on Carly's board here, we have best swaddle blankets, and you can see right underneath it here is a description where we have used additional supporting keywords to tell people and the algorithm what this board is about and why they should click on it and interact with the pins on that board. The next thing that you want to do, if you're feeling up for it and you have the time, is to create board covers. Now, board covers is the exception to optimizing your boards. This is not a make or break thing. If you don't create board covers, your Pinterest strategy is not dead, but it does make your profile look more cohesive. So I wanted to show you what Carly's looks like right now. Now, most of her boards are without covers, but this one right here, newborn coming home outfits, that has a board cover on it. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the difference between that board and some of the other boards that they're not really well defined. It's kind of hard to see what the board is about without reading the full title. A couple of best practices for board covers if you want to make them. You can do them in 2 different sizes and they will both work. 1080 by 1080 is the Instagram template size in Canva that I use the most for board covers. Create your board cover, upload it to Pinterest and optimize it as a standalone pin to that board, and then assign it inside the board settings to be a board cover. Now make sure you link it to something on your website and you don't just create a dead pin that goes nowhere. Option number 2, everything I just said except use the traditional pin template size in Canva and put everything right in the middle. That's what Carly did on her board here, and she just centered the board cover to the middle. Now you have to upload the pins to the board you want to create the board cover for before you go in to edit the settings and actually select that board cover. Now you're going to take it one step further when we are talking about optimizing your boards. You don't want to just create a really optimized board and then leave it empty on your profile. Go ahead and add between 5 to 10 pins to that board right away. Again, with an exception. Make sure they are highly relevant to that board topic. Don't confuse the algorithm by pinning toddler clothes to a newborn swaddle board, okay? Those two don't go together. Don't do that. Make sure you are pinning highly relevant content to that board. That way you are juicing up the SEO even further. If you want to pin other people's content, all you have to do on Pinterest is just go to the actual board. So open it up, then click the More Ideas section right here. That will open up content similar to your board. As long as you've done your board SEO correctly, it should go out and find very similar content. You can go ahead and add other people's content to your board if you would like to. It does no harm, okay? You can pin other people's content to your boards. The other alternative is just going ahead and creating a handful of your own pins that are highly relevant and on topic and pinning those to your board right away. Okay, so that's everything about optimizing boards. Just a couple more questions here. The next question is, how many pins are too many pins on a board? There's really no answer to that. If you wanted to pin 10 pins to the board and never pin anything to it again, that's fine. If you wanted to pin 100 pins to the board, that's fine. The real answer really comes in the frequency of how often you're pinning to that board and making sure that everything you put on it is highly relevant. You don't want to pin content to the board that's not relevant to it. So for example, again, the swaddle example, you would not pin toddler fashion to a swaddle board because toddlers are generally not swaddled. However, you do want to pin your other relevant pins. So no, there's not really a hard and fast answer there. The next question is very similar. How many boards are too many boards? Great question. Again, there's no hard and fast answer. I will tell you, the more boards that you create, the more boards you're gonna have to keep up with and track. And you don't really want to have more than you need. So if you are new and you're watching this video and you are just crafting your Pinterest strategy, make sure that you have boards created for each topic that you cover or each product in your business. Start with at least one for each topic or piece of content that you create. So if you create 5 topics of content in your business or you have 5 products, you're gonna start with a minimum of 5 boards. And then you are gonna go back to the beginning of this video where I talked about awareness and product or buyer intent. And you are going to think about how you can create multiple boards for each phase. So how to swaddle newborn babies, best swaddle blankets for newborn babies. Those are 2 different boards, same topic. If you got value from this, I hope you hit the thumbs up. In the meantime, if you're wondering how your Pinterest board strategy feeds into your overall Pinterest marketing strategy, I encourage you to go watch one of these 2, if not both of those videos, because I created them just for you. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time.